So this is crazy. Berkshire Hathaway, the stock, closes at a record above $500,000 a share as Buffett's conglomerate roars back. So Berkshire Hathaway's Class A shares achieved a key milestone Wednesday, hitting an all-time closing high of $500,000 as Warren Buffett's multifaceted conglomerate fires on all cylinders during the economic recovery. The Class A shares gained 1.3% Wednesday, rising for a fourth straight day to close at $504,400, its first ever close above the $500,000 threshold. Shares of the Omaha based company have rallied more than 11% this year, significantly outperforming the broader market. Like, imagine if you try to buy a stock for $500,000. Like, that is crazy. So I think a rotation into value names, coupled with Berkshire's exposure to the energy and utility space and investors' enthusiasm for Berkshire's aggressive share buybacks, drove the share's performance, said Kathy Seifert, a Berkshire analyst at CFRA Research. The rally in the stock pushed Berkshire's market cap above $730 billion, surpassing tech pioneer Meta Platforms in market value and becoming only non-tech companies on the list of 10 most valuable U.S. public companies. And it's right here. It's just under Tesla, above Nvidia, which is pretty cool. So Berkshire's Class A shares are the conglomerate's original offering, which rapidly ballooned over time in price to eventually become one of the most expensive single stocks on Wall Street. Buffett has said he will never split the Class A shares because he believes the high share price will keep and attract more long-term quality oriented investors. Still, in response to demand for a cheaper option among small investors, Berkshire issued convertible Class B shares in 1996 for 1/30th of Class A share price initially. The affordable share class allows investors to purchase a piece of the company directly instead of buying a fraction of a share through unit trust or mutual funds. Berkshire's Class B shares closed at $336.11 a piece on Wednesday, rising a similar 12% this year. The company's operating earnings, which encompass profits made from the myriad of businesses owned by the conglomerate like insurance, railroads, and utilities, jumped 45% from a year ago in the fourth quarter as businesses continue to roar back to life from the pandemic economic slowdown. A slew of Buffett stock holdings are also paying off handsomely, from Apple to big banks and Japanese trading houses. The 91-year-old investing legend's massive bet on Apple, which makes up to 40% of Berkshire's equity portfolio, has made more than $120 billion on paper. Meanwhile, Berkshire has further supported the stock by repurchasing a record $27 billion of his own shares in 2021, as the Oracle of Omaha found few opportunities externally. The conglomerate hasn't pulled off any big acquisitions in recent years, so has consistently bought back its own shares with its massive cash pile. And again, this is like such a crazy thing. And this is kind of a similar thing to where, people try to say that, like, oh, it's so crazy that Bitcoin might end up getting to $1 million, but as long as there's demand for something, it could technically get to any price, right? And that's for literally anything, right? Amazon could easily be a $10,000 stock with enough demand. Apple could easily be a $2,000 stock with enough demand, right? Tesla could be a $10,000 stock with enough demand, right? The only thing that really matters in terms of like stocks, like the price value of stocks, right, are the supply of the stock and, well, I should say shares, the supply of shares and the demand for those shares, right? That is basically what determines the price, right? If you have more people buying or trying to buy the shares that are actually available, the price will increase no matter what. So it's just kind of like interesting to really think about.